I it's a weird time. I'm awake. I put on makeup. I've slept most of the day. I'm sitting on a pillow, which is weird. Hold on. I know my butt is flat, but geez Louise. Hi, welcome to anybody who's made it here. First of all, it's me, Audra. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. That would be great. And I brushed my teeth for this. Okay. Listen, y'all, I have been hiding because y'all blew up my spot. This is like my little soft corner where nobody pays attention to me. So it was a little bit awkward for me. And I have anxiety. So I got mad stressed out. Took a break when also I worked 12 hours a day. And I hung out on Twitch. So my Twitch information is in the description box. Also, I did a fun live stream with my dear friend Teresa of Teresa is Dead. I have that linked in the description box as well. It was a fun time. We talked about personal pleasure tools, horror movies, and celebrities. It was a weird time. I know I'm early, Marcy. I'm early because I was going to be late. I was ready and like, listen, whatever the start time is, I will either be early or I will be late. There is no in between. I will never be on time. So I know it's a weird time in the afternoon, but I'm going to be real with you. When I'm done with this, I'm either going to play games on Twitch or I'm going to go back to sleep because yesterday I did another 12-hour day. It was rough. Hopefully in the spring, they're going to cut my route. I will be living my best life and I will just be like, yeah, yeah, getting home in a decent time. Shirt reveal. This is an oldie but goodie because I'm a horror fan. I also have a new mug. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. All right. Listen, I love mugs. I love coffee mugs. They're my favorite thing in the world. And they're delicious. Now, what I'm going to be talking about today is late news. Okay. It's late news, but I'm just now getting to it because again, I'm a working NB. All right. I got a whole ass job. So I'm trying to get through two topics today. As you know, these live streams are long AF. But it is what it is. Just put me on in the background. It's fine. I appreciate the view. Mwah. I see you lurking, shaking that ass. I'm sorry. Listen, am I? No. So today we're going to be talking about Nick is not green. So he finally issued what some are saying is a real apology. I've seen it was 11 days ago that he dropped this video. And for those of you who do not know what happened, here's a quick, succinct recap of what went down. Nick is not green had a hate boner for Super Mega and utilized his friend's essay to enact his revenge against them. And that's the recap. he he basically did that. He had a couple of apologies that weren't apologies. And now we're going to look at the one that is supposed to be the real one. So, let's get in. Let's see if I can share screen like a good kind of person-ish, and see if I did this right this time. Because babes, I'm always like I always think I'm doing things right, and then I'm not. I'm not doing them right. That. Let's see. Let's see if I do this. Ugh. Oh, no, it's not doing it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna do that, obviously. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me do that. Hold on, pause and make large. And then listen. World, this is not my friend. Oh wait, can I move it? Can I move this one? Can I move it? And then will it show? Oh, that's not what I wanted at all. All right, let's see if it'll share now. And if it'll share the audio because listen, y'all, I never know if it's gonna work the way I want it to work. So you're gonna have to let me know if you can hear the audio and all of the things because every time I do a screen share, it goes awry. So let's see if this is working. And go. Let me know. Did you hear that? Let's make sure. Ooh, Danny, go you for therapy. Therapy is not good for me. No audio, so you can't hear it when I put it over there. Okay, hold on. Let me let me play games. Let me put my big face in here. Listen, this is why I said to Marlena Stell, when I was talking about her, I said, you know what? Live streams are hard. All right, so I'm so happy that you went to therapy. I wish therapy worked for me. It just like never does. Um, I'm like, it just never does. I'm too self-aware, and I'm like, no, I know I'm doing that. I just need you to help me figure out. Let's see. Why is it? Why? Okay, that's really weird. It won't. It won't. Oh. Y'all, I'm like, I'm struggling. I'm a struggle bus. Thank you. Heather. I just did a new. What is that thing? I wonder if it will do it if I don't share the audio. Hold on. Let me try this way. I figured it out one time and then I already forgot. Thanks, ADHD. Should I write down the instructions? Yes. Do I still not do that? Absolutely not. Um, hold on. Let me see if y'all can hear this one. Boop. Before I make it big, I want to see if y'all can hear. So I hear, obviously, I always hear, but I never know. But I did a new reel on Instagram because I felt like stunting on the girlies. Okay, hold on. Let me make sure that the audio. I love this. This is again why I do this in the afternoon. Like do it in the afternoon. Um okay, so I do have to have. Why are you being like shisty? I wonder. Let me pull this cheer. 'Cause it'll be like, "Share tab." I'm like, "Okay, babes." Alright, so I did not do well with EMDR. I did not do well with EMDR at all. Made me super uncomfortable and sweaty. She tried that. That's EMDR is when I learned maybe there are just some things better left alone. And which I know is terrible, but I was like, you know what? Maybe there's just some things better left alone." Okay, why does it act like huh? Are you seeing it? Do you see things? Oh my god, I think I just did it, y'all. Listen, thank you. Thank you to everyone who stayed here while I fixed this. Thank you to all of you who thought that I was worthy. Thank you to everyone who thought I was worthy, who thought I was good. Thank you to everyone who sat here. I appreciate your care, your love, and your attention while I fix this. I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna write down the instructions for this. I'm not gonna do it. And every time I do this with a video that is not already downloaded, we're going to go through this. And I appreciate you for being here. I hope that you got to use the bathroom, get a drink, whatever it is that you wanted to do, because I think I fixed it. Therapy I've done. That thing you're doing is bad. Here's how your life is ruined now. Okay, so stop doing that. Yeah, every time I go to therapy, it doesn't I just sit there being like, "No, no, I know that. I know I have an avoidant personality. How do I stop doing that? I'm aware. They're like, "Your childhood trauma." I'm like, "No, no, no, I know. I'm extremely traumatized and have been traumatized over and over again. But I need tools that aren't shut out the whole world and live in a small room." All right? Thank you. All right. I think I've done it. We're going to go over here. We're gonna hopefully be like, "You're a bad bitch," and thank you.
Series of videos I made regarding Super Mega. If you're unsure about what happened, I'm going to be talking about a lot of my specific actions in this video, but if you want a more detailed overview, I would
Do you hear? People of the internet, do you hear? My AirPods are out of juice and I'm still at work, so I have to bow out. Oh, I'm sorry, Lauren. Yes. Listen. Listen. Okay, I got too excited. Listen, let me calm down. Let's get in. I'll start it all the way over because, like, now we can hear and now we can focus. Let's go. It's only like 12 minutes, so we should make it through this.
In this video, I want to address how I have made my content throughout my time on this platform, but more specifically with a series of videos I made regarding Super Mega. If you're unsure about what happened, I'm going to be talking about a lot of my specific actions in this video, but if you want a more detailed overview, I would watch this video by Unpoetic Justice that summarized and documented a
Ooh,
lot of what happened since July. I'm going to be linking
listen,
that video
please
in the
hold. Unpoetic Justice, if y'all aren't subscribed to her, you need to be. Amazing, beautiful, talented. I love her so much. I don't know her personally. That's all I have to say, but she's so good. I love listening to her videos. It is honestly one of my favorite things. Um, just check her out because she's like very nuanced and has like a lot of information. I love how she presents information. So I will add her information at the in the description box at the end of the stream. All right.
description. For the past 6 months, I have been defending myself against criticism for how I used my platform in a series of videos I made attacking Matt Watson and
As
Ryan
you should
Higgy
have
of
been.
Super Mega. I stubbornly persisted and posted videos thinking that I was somehow the victim in this drama that was stoked by YouTubers that friends of mine had a bad experience with.
You
In December, I
did.
decided to take a step back from posting videos, and over the span of the last month or so, I have slowly processed and realized just how wrong I really am. And the
Okay, so hold on.
realization of being
This is the thing that I've been saying for a long time with YouTubers and that whenever you've done wrong is like, I don't know why so many just continue forward. Like, I understand the financial aspect where you have paid sponsorships and whatnot that you have to get out. That I understand. What I never understand is how you just keep posting like this tornado isn't ripping through your house. Like, it always like I don't understand it because I'm just like I literally a good thing happened to me on my channel where it started doing well. Thank you again for everybody who showed up and thank you for getting me past 11.4k subscribers. I really appreciate that. I should be like more excited, but my brain doesn't really get it because it's like nothing changes in my life. I like still get up and I still go to my job and my feet still hurt. So I had to take a step back because it made me stressed out because I was like, "Oh my god, I have to be that interesting every time." And then I had like that time off is the thing that makes me be like, no, you just got to do what you do. Like, it doesn't matter. If people came expecting like you to eat everybody up all the time, that's not what you do. Like, it's fine. And I have to like relax myself. So I never understand when you're in the middle of a tornado where you're like, just, I'm going to keep posting videos and acting like this doesn't happen, Illuminati, and then just turn comments off, Illuminati, and act like this isn't going on. Like, please do yourself a favor. It's not even for your viewers. It's like, do yourself a favor. Get off the platform for a minute. Like, take a breath. Stop being weird. Like, you can do that. You can actually take a breath. Put up a thing that says, I need to recenter myself and figure out what's going on so that I can respond appropriately. There's literally no reason for you to just like keep posting videos. Like, it's weird to me. All right, let's get back in.
ignorant and immature and dangerous throughout the course of this whole thing has not actually been a unique experience for me. This situation followed patterns of past behavior that are rooted in my character and how I respond to criticism from other people. And I
Oh,
realized that I'm not really getting hate because of the content I make or because of the audience that I have or because everyone else is wrong. I got all this criticism because I was wrong. When I initially
ooh,
started
hold
receiving
on. We got a
criticism,
strong start talking about like this is my character. Okay. Strong start. I'm just gonna say. Bro's in here like it's my character and I am wrong. Okay, well, I can appreciate that. I could never because I am a Taurus, so I would just be like, I looked at things in an incorrect manner. I looked at things from a different perspective. Fellow Taurus, let me know. Capricorn, Virgos, I see y'all. Y'all need to keep an eye out for Virgos because they will really pretend that they're not like the rest of us earth signs. They really will. Out of every one of us who thinks that we're always right, they're the worst. They're the worst. They're like, well, and then they don't say anything after that. It's Virgo, and then Taurus and Cap are like neck and neck, neck and neck. I'm gonna put Taurus second and Capricorn third. Here's why though, because Capricorn won't admit they're wrong, but they will just keep saying things like presenting presenting. But ooh, Brianna, you are always right, and I will never take that from you. All right.
for these videos, I really only saw the most aggressive and the most extreme reactions to what I did, and I immediately ignored it and turned away from it. And not just those comments, but from people who are actual fans of mine who were worried about what I was doing. I would see certain content creators making countless videos against me who I didn't like, and I would not take it seriously at all. I would see disgusting comments about me and my friends, and I would turn away from it and refuse to give it any validity. And I would keep working through it and doing my job as if I had nothing to apologize about. I wouldn't.
And that is the YouTube situation. All right. That is the YouTube everyone's a hater situation. That is what that is. Like he literally just described it perfectly. The YouTube, like they're all haters. And like really, people need to take a breath from the you're all haters. You're just haters. You just don't like understand. Like people need to take a little break. I'm sorry I attacked you, Heather. I'm like, I'm sorry. This is why I told you I put Virgo at the top every time. Because if you tell a Virgo that they are incorrect or that they're wrong, they will look you dead in your eye and be like, I mean, and then just change the subject. They're never going to acknowledge at all. Like at all. I've never met a Virgo in my life who will feel like I was wrong. They're just like, I mean, well, so I was having coffee the other day. You're like, okay, back into Nick. You're just like, you're like looking at them like, are we just not gonna? All right, I guess I'll just let it go then. My bad. It is Aquarius season. But y'all don't have that bad streak. Y'all are at the bottom of I'm right. Like y'all are at the bottom. Y'all do not have the streak, the evil streak. All right. So back in.
Watch the videos. I wouldn't read any of the comments. It took way too long for me to realize that not only was I wrong about the way that I have used my platform over the past few months, but a lot of the people who I chat on, who made content about me, were actually right. This is the fifth time I've responded to this, and every
Fifth.
single time before this, I have done.
This is his fifth one. And this is why I keep saying, and I've said this before. I said this, I feel like a long time ago when Hannah, Smoky Glow in that whole situation, because I like Hannah. I felt like, "Girl, you just need to chill. Like, you don't need to respond." And this is the thing about social media. I know it moves really fast, and I know people are coming at you a lot, and it's hard to escape from because they're just constantly on your ass. Comments galore. Every video you put up, they're mad. They're telling you they're disappointed. But you should not rush your response because I think that a lot of times you are responding from a place of emotion, right? If somebody tells you, "Hey, you're being harmful," or whatever, I think a lot of people just get this, like, they get up in arms. You know what I mean? You're like, "Oh, how dare you?" Like that. And you're responding from a place of emotion. You're not able to like sit down, review everything that's happened, look it over. This is the Taurus speaking. Evaluate every angle of this and also my autism, and then be able to like craft a response. And I do say craft because it is important to craft a response. Like you have to put it together and make it all, make sure you're hitting all your points. But I feel like a lot of these people just don't do that because social media moves so fast. Everybody's like yelling at you and screaming at you for an apology, and you're just trying to like get it over and done with and get to your content. Exactly, Lucifer, the survival mode response. And I feel like more creators need to stop doing this and stop allowing that sense of urgency of I'm getting canceled to put you in these positions where you're saying and doing things that are, I'm not going to say necessarily out of character, but aren't helpful. Like at this point, you're responding in just trying to get everybody off your back and all of that, and I don't think that that is good. I obviously it's not. This is his 5th one, so obviously it hasn't worked out. Hi, Alex. How are you, baby? I can call him that because that's my brother-in-law. All right, let's go.
Done or said things that have made my actions even more harmful. I wrote off any of the criticism, basically saying that the people who were making videos about me weren't credible sources in my eyes. They were responding in bad faith. And this isn't something that I have only done in this situation, but it's something that I've done during my past few years on YouTube. I never really took a fair look at what people were saying about me online because whenever I saw the most aggressive comments, I ignored everything else and I tried to move on as if I've done nothing wrong. I have
And I tell people this all the time, like, that's why you gotta take that step back. You have to take that step back because the comments you're going to read are going to be the most heinous. Those are the ones you're gonna see. You're not gonna see the people who are like, "I really like your content, but I think that in this part here, you weren't doing da 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 da." You don't see those. And that's exactly why it's like, just step back because all you're seeing is the wall of hate. You're not seeing the people in the middle who love you, care about you, want you to succeed. I know parasocial relationships. We're going to talk about that one day. Maybe we'll talk about it today. Who knows? But the reality is when you're like just in it and you keep reading, every time you read, it's never going to be the nuanced people in the middle, the people who really care about you and like you. What you're going to be reading is the people who don't like you and the people who used to like you and are using whatever opportunity they can to like let you know how much they hate you now. And this happens all the time. Like, and I want to tell people it's okay to fall out of love with a content creator. It's not okay to like hope for their downfall because I swear so many of you are doing that. Take a break. Like, if you don't like somebody, don't like them. You know what I mean? If you've fallen out of love with their content, you've fallen out of love with them. But it's like, this isn't your opportunity to be like, I always hated them. Like, see, it gets weird. Alex, I am trying to survive. Every day at work is going to be a 12-hour day until they cut the route in March. So that means I have at least 3 to 6 more weeks of 12-hour days, 5 days a week. Yeah, yeah, yay. And they're like, "Oh, when we cut your route, you're gonna make less money." And I'm like, "I don't give a shit. I need to be able to sit down. Also, I need to eat more." If you can't tell, I'm getting a little skeletal because I don't have an opportunity to eat, and all my safe foods are disgusting now. So I'm having a rough time. Um, my hobby is to hate outside the club. I love that. Hey, how are you, Red? Look, it still looks like cotton candy just for you. I remember you said that in the stream with Teresa. So, also, just a side note that there are like, I'm letting YouTube do this experiment on my live stream. So, there are ads being dropped in throughout. Thank you for watching them. If you have premium, you shouldn't experience that. I'm just going to tell you that as well. But yeah, their livelihood and brand sponsorship and line apology, because why is this the fifth? And that's the thing. It's like, here's what I feel like should happen. You end up in bad situation. You still have 3 sponsored videos you have to put out. In the interim, just put in something to the effect. The just I see you, I hear you, I'm looking into it. In the meantime, I do have 3 videos that I have to put up because it's sponsored content. Do not think I'm ignoring you. I have to do this because I'm contractually obligated to do so. Boom. And go sit in a corner and figure out what you've done wrong. No, I'm just kidding. Am I? I don't think so. I don't think so. Watch. Now I'm gonna get in trouble and I'm gonna be like desperately scrabbling to fix it like an idiot. I'm not gonna take my own advice. Move on.
Horrible anxiety around reading or seeing content about me, and it caused me to do some very ignorant things. But without making those videos and receiving the kind of criticism I did, I don't think I would have come to this drastic of a
It took
realization.
you a long
I think I
time.
would be making the same exact videos I was making before if none of this had happened. I surrounded myself with validation and people who insisted that I wasn't doing anything wrong. I wasn't comfortable telling people close to me that I believed I could have been wrong because I was afraid to face reality. And I see how it could be.
Y'all, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is why I have the YouTube friends I have right now, because none of them will validate me like that. And I won't do it to them. And they know it. I'm very specific about the friends that I have who do YouTube because literally none of them welcome in, Julia. um, I will absolutely not have friends. If you're gonna be somebody who just like yes mans me and says like, "Oh, you're so great, you're so fan," I don't need you as a friend because you're not helping me to be a better person, right? Like all of my friends challenge me. All of my friends don't let me get away with shit. Like obviously, there's things where it's like I'm right, F that bitch. But but they don't let me get away with it and I don't let them get away with it. And if you're going to be my friend, that's something you have to realize. Like I'm not going to allow you to do wrong and not tell you you're doing wrong. Like I can't do it. I can't. You know, Serenity, I don't think it's that he's had like a lot of scandals. I think that this is my opinion. Um I think that when people start YouTube, you're making they're making really thoughtful content. They're spending a lot of time and energy and effort on it. And I'm going to be very real with you. You generally, excuse me, I burped. You generally don't get that money back, all the time and energy that you've spent into it until you like make it. Like he's obviously made it. Like I'm not going to make it. And that's cool. I do this and have fun. I don't have to have views. Like I'm going to do this stream. If only 1,000 people watch the stream, cool. If only 500 people watch the stream, cool. I have a whole ass job that pays my bills. Like this is fun for me. I'm having a good time. But I think that when you start making it big, I'm not going to say people don't want to put the effort in. I'm just going to say that you want to live your life. And so it becomes easier to do really short, punchy content and not really think about the harm that you might be doing when you're doing it. That's what I'm gonna say. So I think that what happens is you get up here and it's now your full-time job and you have to make like this is what's paying all of your bills. So do you make like an H bomber guy type video that comes out and then you just don't make anything else for 3 months? Or do you make a bunch of short, punchy videos that are easy to film, edit, upload, and go live? So it just, you Yeah, he was trying to release videos first, even if they weren't well crafted. I feel like he fell off from what he used to do, which was he would do deep dives and research and look into things before he spoke on them. And it felt like he had been moving away from that for a while. The only video of his that I really watched was the Colleen Ballinger one where he reacted to her ukulele explanation. I refuse to call it an apology because it wasn't, but that I found interesting, right? I tried to watch other stuff of his, but I just, I'm not as demographic. Again, I'm elderly, so like it's not for me, and that's fine. But I was like wishing the best for him. I was like, do you, Green is not Nick, Nick is not Green, Greeny Nick, Nicky Green. And it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I think especially like surfing Reddit, y'all, Reddit is weird. I know other people are like, no, I knew that. I'm just now finding out. Let me live. Thank you. So, surfing there, people were just kind of finding out that like they liked the old content he made. It reminds me of that one guy, Nico. I don't want to say it too loud because I feel like if you say his name loud, he just appears and it's really scary. So, but he used to make really thoughtful, good content, and then he just like veered off into the woods, and it was a really unfortunate time for everybody. So this is where we are now. I think it's that, he did that, then he used the super mega situation, like he used the situation, the essay situation with his friend to just like pop off his hate boner, and not cool. Let's go.
Expected that I would come into this video blaming the people I surrounded myself with who enabled this kind of behavior. I could talk about how I trusted the wrong people in my life. But the reality of the situation is, despite who I was friends with, despite who I chose to publicly stand with, I was the one that made the decisions to act in
Period.
the way I did and react to the criticism I was getting. And when I was trusted
Did you hear that, Tati? Oh, that was mean. Listen, let's keep going.
to be a responsible content creator who is doing things that other people won't do on this platform, I turned out to be a coward. I have full control over how I edit and write and do everything on this channel, yet these mistakes still happened because they are rooted in who I am as a content creator. And I
Damn.
had the realization that in order to use my platform in the most responsible way I could, I needed to have a complete overhaul of my behavior, and I needed to make major changes to how I make my videos, including how I receive and respond to feedback. And that's something that I need to start right now. The way that
Wow. Okay. Okay, baby boy. I'm sorry. Listen, I can't. I'm old. Wait, also just side note, should I get my other nostril pierced? Because I think I should. I've been like putting on little fake piercings to see what I want to get done because obviously I'm mentally unwell and I need more piercings and tattoos. So that kind of blew my braids back a smidgen. He I'm getting like, oh, I wish this one would let you do the poll. Like they just need to integrate StreamYard with YouTube like even better. I think I am gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it and be like, give me another one. Um, so I love that he's like sitting here being like, I'm not gonna blame all these other people. It's me. And that is something in an apology we don't normally get because most of the time people are like, I trusted these other people and like I surrounded myself with Yasmin Jacqueline Hill and I just let these people tell me what to do. You have to take when you're taking responsibility, you really have to like take responsibility. It's you. At the end of the day, if I fuck up, I fucked up. There's nobody else who did it. Like, even if my researcher did some research, found some stuff that was maybe erroneous, I still can't blame them because I'm the one who, at the end of the day, had the final say, had to look over everything over, and I didn't. So I can't be like, oh, my researcher found the wrong stuff. And so, you know, so this one I had like I was getting a bit of a keloid when I first got it, but then I got a sinus infection and I had to take all of this medicine and I went down. So I'm wondering if I can just do the same on the other side. Just be like, can you give me some antihistamines and like all this stuff? Hi, Alex. Please don't lose your shit. If y'all aren't following Alex, just a stunningly beautiful person inside and out. So listen, I like both things. I like both things. I like the outside, I like the inside. All right, here we go.
That I treated online controversy and the people involved was gross and it is cruel, and not just in the super mega video, but in a lot of my videos in the past 3 years. I've made a career
3
off
years.
publicly shaming people for mistakes that they may have desperately regretted. And of course, it's ironic that I have spent hours over dozens of videos laughing at people's mistakes and the way they respond to criticism when I myself have been closed off to any criticism or feedback that I receive on my own videos. And I'm
That's the
aware that I've
YouTube
had
curse,
content.
boo. That's the YouTube curse. So here's what I would say. I don't think you should like listen. I'm obviously reacting to what he has to say and I'm having my conversation about what's going on. It's kind of a curse of the situation. Like people do things. We talk about the things that people do. I do think that's why I didn't enjoy his content. When I tried to watch anything besides the Colleen Ballinger ukulele response, I felt like it was weird because I was like, why are we just like, you're not adding anything, you're not giving any like thoughts to it. You're just kind of laughing at the person. Like people make mistakes and it's embarrassing to make public mistakes, right? Like my dog gets embarrassed when he farts. You know what I mean? He wants to go inside. He's like, I farted. Let's go. It's embarrassing to make mistakes in public. It really is. But I think we have to try to like treat other people like humans. Am I great at it? No. It's one of the reasons why I definitely try to at the beginning of every single one. I didn't do it this time because I feel like this is just a follow-up to a previous live. But I do feel like uh I try to make sure that I'm telling you where my biases lie so that you know if I'm being like mean. And also you can tell me, you could be like, hey, I think you were a little harsh. And I'd be like, yeah, you probably read I'm mean as shit sometimes because I don't like this person. Right. But yeah, Nadia, ooh, coming in hot. I don't know. I feel like he's saying what do you think he should say rather than meaning what he says. Listen, as long as it sounds good for you too. Let me be real about that. Most apologies. As long as it sounds good enough for you to keep making your money. That's the fact of an apology. Even if you mean it, even if you completely mean it, it still has to sound good.
In my past that people have considered harmful and that people have spoken out about, specifically my J-pop idol group video, my Love Surge video, my video about that couple breaking up. Even more of my videos have received criticism for being too mean and promoting hate towards people who
Yeah, that Love Surge video was mean. I think that's when I checked out. So here's if y'all don't know about the Love Surge, is there's like these people on TikTok, and it's really it's very awkward for most of us. But like, let them live their lives, whatever. But they have like love surges, and they just go like, and they get like really, and then they just need hugs or something. And he was kind of mean about it. And listen, I don't like to be touched almost ever, almost never. When I do wanna be touched or I do reach out for, like, physical affection, it is a little much, if I'm gonna be honest, because I need physical touch, but I don't like it. So, I thought it was a little mean. Like, I get that it's weird and people do weird shit, so that was a mean one. That was mean. I remember that.
do not deserve it. And for that, I am deeply sorry. I know that I've been defensive in the past when people have criticized my channel for having opinions that are too surface level or making videos with not enough
Yes,
effort. People were
period.
hurt by what I was saying and what I was making. And
100%.
regardless of my intent, I chose to ignore these people and to continue making my content.
You
And for
did,
that, I am sorry. I had
I
my sights on
guess.
making my videos efficiently and consistently without putting the proper care that is required for the kind of audience that I have. My priorities were on my growth and my income, and that drive caused me to forget about everything else that was going on around me so I could feel better about myself. And so this
I was really hoping he was gonna hit that. I was hoping he was gonna hit that. Um, because the real reason he was ignoring those people saying things is because, like, if you allow the YouTube algorithm to enslave you, you are making things according to the algorithm. So if your short, snappy videos get tons and tons of views, you switch to doing that because one, it's less effort. I'm not saying it's low effort. No, please nobody take that from this. I'm saying it's less effort. It's less work than if you had to put in all of the effort to like film, edit, like film a good video where you've researched, you've done all the things so you can talk about it, put all the, elements into the video and all of that stuff. Those videos take a lot of time. Like if you watch FD Signifier, he talks about it. If you watch T Noir, she talks about it. If you watch Bo, I can't remember their name. It's just leaving me right now. But any of the creators I've discussed, they make like really intense, in-depth content. And as such, one of the things that a lot of these folks are doing was creating like another channel so they could still have income coming in for like shorter, snappier like responses to stuff that it allows them to continue having income, but it's not sacrificing their content. And I feel like what he did is he just moved over to the I don't want to say it, but like the content farm aspect of just pumping out the content, making the money, living the life so that he could buy them snappy glasses. And now look what it's gotten him. He ignored the fan base that got him here. I'm gonna pretend that that didn't happen. We're gonna look elsewhere. I don't know what that is.
This video is
Okay.
not only a statement and an apology, but it is a public commitment to using my platform in a way that is constructive and has integrity. I personally do not believe that commentary or critique videos are inherently harmful. I know plenty of content creators who do what I do in a good way, but the way that I was making content was absolutely harmful. It was careless, and it is not up to the standards that I want to set for myself moving forward. My content has lacked the care needed to deliver personal opinions that are educated and thorough, and I continually prioritize the efficiency of my content over making videos that I am truly proud of. I want to publicly apologize to Matt Watson and Ryan McGee for harmfully mishandling my coverage on a situation that I should never have been involved in. I'm sorry for repeatedly being ignorant because I was too afraid to face criticism, and I just talked and listened to people who made me feel like I was right. I made posts insulting and
And for anybody who doesn't know, those are the bros from Super Mega. Um, he keeps saying he never should have been involved in this situation, which he shouldn't have. But like you still acted. Let's see if he apologized. We only have like 5 more minutes of this, right? What's 7? 7 plus 5 is 12. Math is so not my thing. Please don't cancel me because I can't do math. Okay. Thank you. I feel like it's 12 because 8 plus 5 is 13. I don't know why that makes sense in my brain, but it does. I'm always like, I know everything that adds up to 13. Okay. All right. I'm not liking this part here. Hold on.
denying any wrongdoing on my end because I was too afraid to challenge anything else. I made my initial videos about Super Mega because I had pre-existing feelings and beliefs about them based on what friends of mine told me in private, and I got angry and I wanted to fight for them. I got my emotions involved in a conflict that I had nothing to do with. I saw all of these comments as harassment to me, my friends, and my family, and it caused me to react in a destructive way. At the time, I believed that agreeing with what people were saying about me or apologizing would be turning on those close to me, and it would make me a flawed person and content creator. But it is humiliating to come to the realization that the content I make is far from helpful or honest or safe. And the way that I deflected blame for my own actions ended up hurting both.
I kind of feel like you can make like funky, fun, whatever content. Like, this is why I keep saying I don't really believe like so much in truly low effort content because regardless, you still have to put work in, except for if you're sniper wolf. But most of the time, You have to put work in, you have to film, edit, upload, like, da, 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 da. I don't think everything has to be like a think piece on life because, I mean, if that were the case, we wouldn't where would our cat videos go? Like, I wanna watch have you seen the one about the seal who's, like, terrorizing a town? Love that seal. Like, I wanna go to the town specifically for the seal. Like, are you kidding? Um, but this is I don't know, there's something weird about him saying, like, "I thought I was defending my friends." I guess my problem is why were you can defend them behind the scenes. Like, I'm so confused why you felt like you had to make content around them to defend them. You know what I'm saying? Like, my friends have get into things, things happen. I don't feel like it's necessary for me to make a video to defend them against that, because first of all, it's none of my business. Second of all, I just don't think it does you any good as a content creator when when your friends are under fire to actually do a video. It doesn't do you any good. If any of my friends have ever gotten in trouble, it doesn't actually help you, and it doesn't help them and it doesn't help me, right? If one of my dearest friends, like, this is an example, this isn't real, I'm going to preface that. So if Teresa from Teresa's Dead got into some kind of snafu, it does not help her for me to do a video defending her. The reason it doesn't help is because, one, everyone who watches me knows that she is my friend, and everyone who watches her knows that I am her friend, right? So me doing a video defending her against these actions only makes it worse for her. Like, of course you're going to defend her because that's your friend, blah, 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 blah. And then people are also angry at me. Now we're both in trouble. Whereas if I'm just behind the scenes helping her out, working through the whole situation, telling her not to look at the comments, let's chill, don't worry about it, we'll work on this together, that's better. But most importantly, it does not help her. Like, when you as a friend try to defend them, it almost never goes well. Every time I've seen this happen on YouTube, it's almost never gone well. The only time it goes well is usually if an outside source who has no dog in the race, no pony riding a horse. I don't know the phrase. As long as you have somebody who's got that, then they can talk about the situation because they're not involved. When you have somebody completely uninvolved and then they can defend the situation, you're like, oh, that makes sense because you're not seeing like a full bias. So I will say that. I will say that. I'm always going to eat up Sniper Wolf. I'm sorry. It's like, also, no, I'm not.
Parties involved. The decisions that I made while covering the super mega situation and the way I responded to criticism ended up hurting the people that I was trying to help in the first place because I didn't handle it with the care that was needed. Everyone was worse off because of my actions. There were people close to me that had to endure harassment because I refused to
Just pause. I'm a psychic. Okay, continue.
listen to those in my life who were telling me that I may have been doing something wrong. I realized that I made a mistake in my first video saying that I asked for permission to cover the story from the victim, and then later in my coverage said that I was actually asked to cover the story. Now, I
Yeah.
want to clarify that I was asked to cover this story by the victim, but that does not remove any of the accountability I need to take for how I covered the story and how I responded to the criticism I got from it. That is nobody's fault but mine. I used a serious situation as an excuse to make insults and jabs at Super Mega because I got emotionally involved in a conflict that should have been treated with more severity, childishly insulting Matt and Ryan and thinking it's okay because I'm the good guy and they're the bad guys is an embarrassing decision that I decided to make. I made
It was a conflict that I honestly don't think should have been brought to the tubes of the U, is my That's mine. I like all y'all are out here like close enough. Oh, dog pony. I don't know. I always mix up all of those phrases because like none of them actually make a lot of sense to me. I'm like, I got a chicken in the coop. Um, but here's my like after seeing all of this take place, I just felt like this was a conflict between people that should have been handled behind the scenes. And from what I could see, obviously I couldn't see everything. It was handled behind the scenes. And then you brought it out into the public, much like Ron White getting drunk in public. Listen, that's one of my favorite stand-ups of all time. And that's where everything went awry. It's not that you mishandled it, which you did. It's that it should not have been out here for us. You know how sometimes people say things on Twitter and you're like, babes, I would have gone my entire life and never told anybody that? That's what that is. Like the girl on TikTok, hi Prima, who was like outed her mom as like the side piece and is selling courses on how to become the main because that's what her mom did. I never would have ever said that out loud. Like that's things I just keep to myself. You could have taught the course without outing your mom. I just feel like this was all stuff. Hi, Son um, was just like a thing that you didn't have to be involved in. I felt like this entire situation, honestly, especially once everything came to light, I was like, this seems like it was mostly handled. And it was very weird that y'all brought this all out to the front page, to the tubes of the Youb. I made that sound weird. I put a B in you.
It
Sorry.
digs at Super Mega's relevance. I put edits in my video of Matt getting punched in the face, all because I was convinced that it was all right to bully these people in front of hundreds of thousands of people because I thought they were awful. And for months and months, I refused to believe that I was the problem. I put my head down and I kept working because I just kept telling myself that people were going to stop caring and the whole thing would blow over. I really
No.
wasn't comfortable with saying anything like this for a long time, but truly my character was the only thing stopping me from facing my mistakes, and I am ashamed of that. My behavior
You
in the
should
past
be.
6 months is not something I stand behind proudly. I again want to apologize to Matt and Ryan and everyone else involved in this situation, regardless of if I agree with them or disagree with them. There's not a single person who I did not let down with my actions, and I am so sorry for using my platform destructively. I also want to specifically apologize for the carelessness used in how I talked about Matt and Ryan's late friend Daniel. It is
Yes.
concerning and cruel, to say the least, that I was not more immediately outspoken against the way that Daniel was talked about in other people's videos, including my own. And the fact that I believed that this information was relevant at all to this story is ridiculous. I convinced myself that I was reporting the true testament of someone's character, when in reality, I used someone's tragedy to push an agenda. I was blinded by this hate that I had on behalf of people who were close to me, and it led me to do and say some pretty awful things.
And see, yo, this is something that I've talked about with my friends in private. I've said it a couple times. Hi, JJ. Ooh, I want to go to Scotland so bad. So bad. Like if I like I'm trying to if I could ever work from home, I'm leaving Texas with Scotland. My mom dated a man from Scotland. She couldn't understand him very well, but I could. Mostly when he was like when he was drinking, it was harder. And she would just be smiling. I was like the Scott interpreter. It was a good time. Um, but I I just feel like he's apologizing. There's things that are missing from this apology. Like he's he's like, I apologize for using my platform this way. I just feel like, are you going to apologize for using someone's essay the way that you did? Are you going to apologize for acting as if they didn't handle this situation behind closed doors? I feel like, ooh, did y'all just hear my stomach? I'm hungry again. I've already eaten twice. I need to eat thrice. So my stomach is like screaming. I've got to figure out what I can eat. It's going to be like another 2 hours before I can figure it out. Exactly. I want to see some change behavior. I don't know. I don't know that he's okay. Let's mm, he's over here like my ego, and he's like really talking about himself and his ego, which is ironic.
Learning just how much growing I have to do and how flawed I really am has been the hardest but probably most important lesson I
That's
have
what it
learned in my
is.
life
It's
so
the
far.
self-flatulating. Is that what you call it? I don't think it's flatulent. Is it flatulent? 'Cause flatulence is farting. Flagellating? Anyways, it's him beating himself on the back with the rope thing. You know, he's just flagellating. Thank you, Pollyanna. I knew you would have my back. It is the self-flagellating. It's the way that he keeps saying, like, he is a terrible person, and I feel like we're missing the rest of the like, also, we're not really being made aware of exactly all of the things that he's done, which it is what it is. But, like, I just feel like this apology is very much based in him talking about what a terrible person that he is so that we, the audience, will feel sorry for him and forgive him and watch his shit again. Like, I feel listen, I'm mean. I know that. I say that. I'm mean, and I know I'm mean. I just took that from Dirty Dancing, but I just changed the words. Uh, and I don't feel like that's what is needed. I mean, it's a good-ish apology, but I just feel like there's a lot of browbeating of himself. He's just beating himself a lot, and I shouldn't have said it like that, but it just seems like excessive. It's very much like, "I'm a terrible person, I'm horrible, I'm using my platform wrong," and it's not as much about, like, how he's really disappointed people? I don't know, maybe he'll get there. He's got 2 minutes.
Are. I would not be making this difficult of a decision if it were not for the people who were this persistent about my bad behavior. And I am grateful that I have been given this many chances to finally take a hard look at how I've been handling myself, my platform, my content for the past 3 years. I spent months responding to a controversy that removed blame from my actions, and it wasn't until now that I realized it's time for a change. My content reflects who I am, and for years now, I've been making content that I do not want to be remembered by. I'm not proud of having a career made from ridiculing people and acting like I know better and that I'm worthy of judging them. Time and time again, I excused my gross behavior and I cultivated an audience around pretending that I'm a better person than those I criticize. I know that I'm capable of being more than this, and that is going to start with immediately changing the content I make to be more intentional, constructive, and meaningful to me. I apologize to those who have watched my content at any point over the last 3 years, and
Mhm.
I am committed to improving my character and learning from my mistakes over my time on YouTube. I also want to apologize to any survivors of sexual assault that were disappointed or hurt by the way I've handled this story. It is disrespectful beyond words the way that I have used this story to defend my own actions, and I am sorry. I won't be making this mistake again. I want to thank those who have given me the time and the chance to apologize and make things right, including loved ones of mine who have helped me grow to a place where I
Hmm.
can understand that I can be better than this. Thank you for taking the time to hear me out.
I don't know about all that, fam.
We have
I
such a hard time discussing certain kinds of
I don't know about all that. I ooh, I don't know about all that. Glam mums. Glam mums. That I feel like he's watched a few apologies on YouTube and is just trying to hit the notes he thinks are expected. Yeah. I just didn't leave with warm fuzzies. I think that let me just look at something right quick. Let me just take a peekity peek at something. I'm gonna go like because I'm so curious. Because I feel before I say anything, I need to look at it and see where this because he's been doing it for 6 months. Do you know what I mean? For 6 months, he's been pissing people off, right? For 6 months, people have been after him, being like, "Hey, fam, get it together." And I think that the issue is that he is losing views. Um, and subscribers. So I'm just taking a quick peek here at like what his yeah, that's what it is. He literally went from being able to get half a million to 1 million views on a video to dropping down. Yeah. Okay. That is it. Like he went from getting almost half a million views per video to and 1 million videos to where he is now. Like a month ago, he did a video. It only got 142K views. His Matt Rife video did well, but I think that's because everybody hates Matt Rife. If you talk about Colleen, you're gonna get views. So that did well. But other than that, I feel like he really was falling off in views. And I feel like he realized that the only way to fix this was to come back and blame himself. I'm glad that he took responsibility and ownership, but I also don't feel like it's just about him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I just feel like he didn't gray sweater instead of hoodie. Yeah, gray seems to be the apology color. Like it's the I don't feel like he you yeah, it was kind of really cringy, like, I'm gonna do better, and, like, here's the thing, I don't like I've said before, I don't feel like every bit of content that someone makes I don't think everybody has to be making super thoughtful content. I think that you might wanna research before you start, talking trash on something and, look into it more, um, but I don't think everything has to be, like, deep. I just think that in this situation and in some other situations, maybe you were a little mean. I feel like you went too hard for something because you let your emotions get the best of you. Um, that that is it right there. I think a real apology would center the victim, not himself. Yes. I love the same, and every time I see it, it makes me happy. Hi, eGirl TV. 2023 was the year of the recorded apology, so he has a lot of styles too on the way to deliver said apology. Yeah, he does. I feel like we're getting there. I think that the people who needed him to say this got what they needed out of it. So I think that they're happy to continue watching his channel, which good for y'all. Um, I think for people who had been new to his channel and left due to this, I don't think you hit all the right notes because again, I just feel like you spend a lot of time talking about how your character is bad, and I don't think that that's necessarily the issue to me. I just feel like you got hooked on the views and the money and making the money that you lost sight of just being objective and talking about a situation instead of making fun of people all the time. So that might be it. He could have done the interpretive dance. I'm never gonna forget that. Like the interpretive dance and the ukulele, neck and neck. Neck and neck on the weirdest. And I can't even put the ukulele in there because again, it wasn't an apology. But you know what? Maybe they are neck and neck because the dance wasn't an apology either, and that was so weird. I was like, "Girl, are you okay? Do y'all like I swear money makes people strange. Don't let me make money." Just kidding. If I made money, like all I would do is buy more mugs, more funny mugs, and a lot more blankets and more hoodies. I would dedicate, that I would change the guest room into like a hoodie storage station and I would pay somebody to complete the decorations of my home. Be like, "Please, more gothic art. Thank you." So, that's the Nick is not greed situation. I feel like the people who needed him to apologize, and that were his fans, I think they got what they needed out of it. I think the new folks maybe didn't. I feel like people who just rolled up, um, or the people who already didn't like him, They didn't get what they needed out of it. So hopefully this does see him doing better with the balance of his content. I think it's fun to react to stuff as well. I just think that maybe don't be mean all the time. Don't be looking at the meanest angle that you can look at, because obviously negativity gets views. That's all. Nick is relatively young, I'm guessing, 20-ish something. Too young for me. Not interested, just saying, generally not somebody I'm going to watch a lot of, and does a lot of TikTok reacts. So hopefully this has put a bee in his bonnet to get better. Is that how you use that phrase? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm going to take a quick break because I need to grab food and put it in my belly. Um, It'll be like 5 minutes, so everybody, like, go get a drink. I'm just having, like, a little adult snack pack. Go grab a drink, get you a coffee, do whatever the thing is that you need to do, and we shall return, because this is how I do things. I show up on a Tuesday at a random hour for a short period of time, and then I take a break. BRB. It was shorter than I thought. Because I didn't realize I had it in my fridge over there. It's these, like, Hillshire snacks. So good. I got Genoa salami. I'm gonna eat those. The next thing we're gonna talk about, I've never seen this creator before, but their video was recommended to me. His name is Marques Brownlee, and it could be Mark. I don't know. Bo is back there doing weird things. And he has a short 15-minute video talking about quitting YouTube. And I don't know if y'all have been paying attention to this, but this has been a situation of proportions. I'm like, of proportions. Many YouTubers have been, quote unquote, quitting as of late. And so a lot of people have just been like, "Oh, no, 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 I don't want that." Anyways, a lot of people have been talking about it because it's becoming a thing where, like, every time you turn around, some large YouTuber, most of them, that I the doggo is me rolling around. Yeah. So a lot of people have been quitting, and it's like huge creators that people are just sitting here like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" So I thought I would take a look at a creator who is like ginormous, I guess, and what they have to say. And again, don't get mad at me. Let me put this here because I don't know who everybody is on YouTube. It's not, this isn't the kind of place where we all just hang out and talk and whatnot. And most of these people I wouldn't ever want to talk to if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Because why would I? So I don't know his name. I don't know if it's Mark or Marquez because you never know. People spell things how they spell things. And he's talking about on quitting YouTube. And I'm curious if he thinks the same way I think with regards to why people are quitting. So we're going to present. I'm going to mute myself for a second whilst I have this bit. It's so good and it makes me so happy. I'm like, it makes me so happy. So we're gonna do that. And also I need to make sure I have the ratio right because I like, oh nope, that's not it. That's it. So yes, yeah, some felt it was the right time. I feel like I'm wondering if he thinks the same things I think. So here we go. Mans is gonna chat with us. His is louder than most, I feel like. Because he has YouTube money, I guess. Let's go.
Couple of weeks and months, there's been a lot of YouTubers quitting. A lot of OG creators from people who've been doing it 8, 9, 10, 12, 15 years, legends and people who we all are familiar with who've been around YouTube for a long time, retiring or leaving or cutting back or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I've noticed, and a lot of you guys have asked me for my thoughts or to chime in. Not that this isn't one of those videos. I'm not doing that, but I do have my own situation. I've been at this a long time, and so I figured I'd throw in my 2 cents. Figured I would chime in. So first of all, this thing that we're doing here, this is a dream job, no question about it. Like we cannot forget that. I think there's a stat I've referenced it before, but what you ask children of the 2010s and 2020s what they want to be when they grow up, and the most popular answer is YouTuber.
Which they should change.
They want to be YouTubers.
They should change that. This is not a steady job. Thank you, Marquez Brownlee. This is not like honestly, I always waffle in between if this is something that I actually wanted to pursue as like my full time, because on the one hand, it would be very helpful for my neurodivergent brain. But the thing is, as we discovered with Nick is not green, green is not Nick, Nikki green, green Nick, it can lead to you chasing views and chasing that because of the algorithm. You get sucked into creating content specifically to get views, which that's the point, right? But it's also your source of income. So you can't afford to take chances as much as like I can now, right? Like if this live stream doesn't perform, it doesn't perform. If I disappear out of the algorithm, I disappear out of the algorithm. Like my patrons and channel members are aware that I'm here. They'll watch my shiz because I have a full-time job every day. And like that job is what's paying my bills. This is not paying my bills. This pays for equipment. This pays for all this equipment. And the Laura Mercier Foundation I just bought. Listen, I was sad. So I do feel like that, like every time people say like this is a dream job, I think that it becomes a nightmare. I think it's a dream that becomes a nightmare, and that's just my opinion, right? I think that the idea that if you do something that you love, you will never work a day in your life is bullshit, because if you love something and it becomes your job, it becomes a job. And I think that you could grow to hate it. I think that you could grow to hate it. You know what I mean? Do y'all hear him like womping over there? He licks himself. So yes, demonetization. And especially if you have employees to pay. And that's the thing. Once you start getting to like a size that is so big, I feel like again, you're in this position where you can't do other things. Like I can switch up and do whatever I want because there's did I get a bump in subscribers? Yes. Again, thank you. But also, a lot of those people may not be here for like even this. They may not be here for when I'm talking about James Somerton. Like they may not be here for all of that, right? They may be like, oh, I only want to come over here if there's beauty drama, and more power to you. And thank you for doing so. But that in the end, that puts me in a position where like I get to do what I want all the time because this is not how I make my money. So, Ruthie, in my experience, having something you love as your main only source of income brings a lot of stress and hurts the love for it. Yep. When the money doesn't matter, it's so much more fun for YouTube, especially. Period. Ruthie, you're my people. That's how I feel. Like I always think to myself, like, oh, I should do this, work really hard and do this full time. And then I just realize, like, mm, mm. It depends on how you do it, though. Let's see what else Marquez has to share with us. Also, I like his hair.
When they grow up. That didn't exist 20 years ago. They all wanted to be other things, firefighters, movie stars. Now I'm sure a lot of this is they just want to be famous, or this is the new version of, Hollywood famous, and they don't really understand all that comes with this. That's totally normal. But the point is, it's a very sought after job, and that's something we all have to acknowledge. But as Tom Scott put it so eloquently, a dream job is still a job.
I can't keep this up. This is my dream job, and I have a lot of fun doing it. I know I'm incredibly lucky, but a dream job is still a job, and it's a job that keeps getting bigger and more complicated, and I am so tired.
So I've watched all these YouTubers.
Period. First of all, I'm psychic. I've never seen this before. Sorry. I'm over here eating as well. And I apologize, but I don't really have any choices in this matter because, like, again, I've said I haven't been really eating well for weeks now, and I'm trying. But yeah, like I said, that a dream job is still a job. It is still a job. At the end of the day, you still have to do it. And that is why, like, a person like me, why I waffle on it, because I've been vocal about this multiple times throughout the years. I do not look at my back end on YouTube. I don't look at my sats. I don't look at my analytics. I don't even look at how much money I'm going to make. I don't look at any of it. And the reason I don't is because whenever I used to, it would prompt me to make content I don't want to make and I wasn't passionate about to keep getting those numbers. Like I've made beauty content, which I enjoyed. But the things that always performed best on my channel have always been commentary because anyways, but but the thing is, I just don't feel like if I look at that back end stuff, if I keep looking at it, what happens is you're paying more attention to, this is my opinion, I'm paying attention to a majority of people who aren't part of my community. And I don't mean this in a derogatory way. What I'm saying is there are people who have been on my channel who have watched every iteration of everything I have ever done from day one all the way here. And they've enjoyed all the stuff I've had to do. When I switch to following what the algorithm wants me to do and what my back end wants me to do, I am now doing a lot of stuff for a majority of people who just got here. And I'm no longer servicing the people. Every time I say servicing, I think of like bow, chicka, bow, bow. But I'm no longer servicing the people who've been here, the people who've enjoyed what I've done. And I think that to me is what, like, as a subscriber of other people's channels, that's what usually makes me duck out of your channel is like, I've been here from this period to this period, and I feel like you switched to just saying hi to these people. Yeah, I think here's the thing. I do beauty content. It's we do it on Patreon and channel memberships and stuff like that, because I like to do it in a way that doesn't stress me out. And I felt like doing beauty content publicly stressed me out and made me irritable. I also don't have time for that. I don't have time for every release. I would never be able to put the videos up in time. And I knew that. So I just was like, you know what? I love makeup. I love beauty. I like talking about it, but I cannot do beauty content. It doesn't work for me and it makes me like feel terrible. So I was like, yeah, let's not do that. But yeah, I think that is the thing. Dream job, still a job. At the end of the day, it's still a job that you have to do that pays you. And I don't think that people understand that when they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky." And it's like, "Yes, but also no." Yes, but no. All right.
There's videos of talking about what they're doing. They're retiring, and they're not all actually just straight up leaving. If you actually watch their videos, let's be honest, a lot of them are cutting back a little bit or taking a break or changing things up in a way, but it feels like they're sort of retiring the main thing that we know them for. But pretty much all these videos have something in common. So I'm going to use an analogy to sort of, I like analogies. I've said this before. I'm going to use one to explain sort of how it feels in my head. So the way I explain, because I get asked all the time, what do you recommend for someone who wants to be a YouTuber? And I liken it to being a professional athlete. Pick a sport, pick whatever sport you want. Basketball, for example. There's one thing to actually do the sport just for fun, to go to the park to play basketball for free, to go to the gym with your friends to play basketball. You can do that as much as you want, but there is a certain level of hard work, dedication, strategy, and talent, and let's be honest, luck that is involved in being able to turn that hobby, that passion into a job, to actually become a full-time professional basketball player. That is a very sought after job and a very small number of people who actually get to do that. And so if you really want to turn the passion into the job, you have to be willing to put in a ton of hours and to be totally happy playing a ton of basketball in the park for free, playing a ton of basketball in the gym and working on the skills for free, not getting paid a dime. And that may possibly lead to you being able to turn it into a job. And you have to be able to be very comfortable even if you don't make a dime.
100%. I don't think a lot of people truly understand the YouTube grind. Like I don't think people understand like just content creation grind. Let me change that. This is a grind, especially when you're trying to make it. It's one of the reasons why I said, I was like, I'm beauty content. I'm out. There's multiple reasons. I've talked about them before. I'm not going to, keep harping on them, but it's a grind. For a lot of beauty content, you've got to be putting up a video at least 3 times a week. Filming, editing, uploading. If you have a full-time job, you're doing this at hours that you would normally spend relaxing, resting. You can't do that anymore. You just don't have kind of a life. Like when you're working to try to make this into your job, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that, is you don't do anything outside of this. When you're trying to make YouTube sustainable, even if you're trying to make it a really good side hustle, you quite literally go to work. Like there was a point in time where I would get up in the morning, film a video, like film a portion of a video to do like a foundation try on, because I was like the goddess of foundation try-ons. A lot of people don't know that about me because listen, it was tits. I did everything. I did all kinds of stuff to try a foundation and wear test it. But the thing is, I would be getting up at like 4:00 in the morning to film this, then get to work 9 to 11 hours, come home, edit it, like do the thumbnail, do those to upload, and like repeat this process, getting sometimes like only 4 to 5 hours of sleep. And you're also buying equipment. You're like, there's not really free editing software anymore. Like there used to be way back in the day, but there's not really free editing software anymore. Like you can use some of it for free, but the thing is, you don't have access to most of the features. Also, they're going to watermark it. So nobody really wants the watermark of the product that they're using to edit in there because that doesn't look professional. So there's a lot of stuff that you're purchasing and you're doing all of this without any expectation that you can get any of that money back. Like that's why the amount of YouTubers creating, you also see bunches of YouTubers that just disappear one day. One day they're doing it, one day they're just gone because the payback isn't worth it. At some point you realize you're just not getting what you wanted out of it and you're putting all of this effort into it and you're just not getting what you want. Especially for people who are just like wanting this to happen and it's not happening. It becomes too much and you are working all day. You don't get to go and chill with your friends. You don't go hang out. You don't go relax. You don't go you're just constantly doing your YouTube stuff. And now that we have so many platforms that you have to be performing on, you have to be hopping up on Instagram. You have to be on TikTok. There's still Snapchat. You have to be on YouTube. You have to be putting content on all of these places and it has to be kind of different. It's just a lot. I think it's a lot of work to put in and possibly get nothing. You could do all of that and still end up with absolutely nothing. So let us move forward.
That's the same thing as being a professional athlete. That's totally true about being a professional creator. Now, I still think all that's true, and I still like using that analogy, but I think there's one thing wrong with that analogy, or I guess one thing missing from that analogy, which is that creative jobs don't scale like regular jobs. It's just not quite the same. So what I mean by that is take the YouTube video creator career, for example. When you first start, you are just being creative. Like that's the whole job. You are making stuff and that's the fun. So you get to have all kinds of crazy creative ideas. You're getting better and better at making the thing. You get to have a new idea, be inspired by something over here, try new things, and just coming up with all these fun, different ways to make something. And that is what we fall in love with at the beginning. Now, what might happen is at a certain point, you get your first opportunity to do some larger new thing. And it's super cool that door has been opened because of all the creative work you're putting in. And so it's very tempting and exciting. And so you need to sort of scale up a little bit to be able to address said new opportunities. And so you do that and it's awesome. And it's an advancement clearly, but now you're spending time on that scaling up and less time on the being creative thing. So like, here's a basic example. Let's say you're a video creator, you're doing your thing, you're getting creative, you're writing, editing, shooting, doing all the fun creative stuff. And then you're making some AdSense revenue as well. So it's a hobby that's making some money. Great. A brand comes along and they offer this super awesome, unique opportunity to go shoot a video that you would like to make in some crazy, fun, unique location, and they'll fly you out and give you that access to be able to make this awesome thing. Sick. Yeah, that's an advancement, and that's something that's unlocked by the creative things you've been doing. And so you do it, but in that process, you now also have to manage the communications with the brand. That's the inbox stuff. You're doing invoicing, and then now it's the accounting and the taxes that come with that, and the negotiation in between.
Oh, yes. You are your own business. And that is like just the tax part alone is so stressful. Like the amount of times that I would see people, and very specifically because I used to do beauty content, the amount of times that I would see people be like, it's a write-off and not understand what a write-off means. The way that they would just very consistently like, oh, they're buying all this makeup. It's a write-off. I'm like, babes, it's not free money. That's not what's happening. Like, if you have a full-time job, and let's say for the sake of this, we're going to make it easy, you make $60,000. And then YouTube over the year, let's say you make $5,000. Your goal with your write-offs is to offset the additional 5Gs that you made to put you back in your $60,000 tax bracket and make sure you don't owe the government money. That's what it is. It's not like free money that just shows up. And the way people just say that, like, oh, it's no, what people are a lot of times doing is making sure that they can try to offset what they made. So when this starts, you have to figure out taxes. And as things start getting better, you have to start keeping receipts for all of this stuff. And as he was talking about there, like, and I've heard other creators talk about this too, is suddenly you are involved in like contracts and you're not a lawyer. Like you're getting involved in contractual obligations and you're not even a lawyer and you're just like, yeah, the only time I sign up for an affiliate like if I sign up for an affiliate, like have a brand, like a code or whatever, I tell them that it not to pay me out. I'm like, don't pay me. I just want, like, if I ask for one, it's because I truly enjoy your brand. And then I'm like, also, I don't want you to pay me any money for it. Thank you. Because first of all, again, this isn't my full-time job. So I don't need all of the extra money ruining my life. So I don't think that people really Ruthie, I did too. Listen, most of us did think that write-offs, like, it's free. It's really not, because even if you didn't have a full-time job, if YouTube or content creation is your full-time job, you're still trying not to owe the government money. You're still trying not to owe money. Because you can't just make $100,000 tax free. And a lot of times YouTube is not really taking out the taxes. There are states where they are, but they're not really taking out the taxes. So over this entire time, if you're not making sure that you're taking out taxes, come, April 15th, it's going to be a rough time. If you're not putting money away for your estimated taxes, then you run into that. Plus, you're trying to offset as much of that earning as possible so that you're not like, oh, I made a ton of money, I'm rich. And setting up an LLC, like, there's so much that you have to do. And you don't know that going in. You have no idea going in that you're going to have to become like your own PR person, a lawyer, HR, like you're just going to do all of it. So, hi Miranda, welcome in. It's so much stuff and you don't realize that you're becoming your very own business. I said that when we were talking about Super Mega and all of the things that were handled in that situation. And I brought up, like, I'm not defending how they handled the situation with SA, but I am saying most of this is a friend business. And very few people tell you that this becomes a friend business. You more likely than not are hiring friends, like people that oftentimes who do YouTube. So if you need someone to edit, you're hiring somebody who already edits for YouTube, and it's usually a friend. If you need somebody to create thumbnails for you, again, somebody who does YouTube creates that for you. And you're paying all of these people and you don't even know what the pay rates are. And on top of that, no one tells you that you could just be minding your business, chilling out, making little videos here and there. And like Marques could see this and be like, hey, y'all should see, he wouldn't, but y'all should see this and like that, and then blow my spot up. Right. And then suddenly, like, I go to bed thinking everything's fine, wake up and your channel has exploded and you're like, oh my God, there's so many people here. What's going on? Like, I can't breathe. So nobody tells you about that either. And I think a lot of people really like the idea of blowing up like that, but I don't. I don't. Super stressful.
And the travel, just a little bit of extra work. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but that is some more time spent doing something that isn't being creative when the job is still supposed to be the being creative part. You see what I mean? Does that make sense? There are all types of examples of this all over the creative world. Pick any genre, whether it's working with a brand or doing some new opportunity, something somewhere that comes from you being creative. Another very common example is, I have creator friends all the time that ask, oh, I'd like to hire a team to help with some of this stuff.
Yep.
And that also feels like a natural progression. You're doing so much of this work that you should have some help. You should have a team to help you do that. And you do get the help, but now a lot more of your time is actually spent managing those people and that team, which is taking away from the actual being creative part. So the point
100%. I like this man. I like him. I've never seen him before. I'm glad you showed up on my FYP. Thanks, Marques. Yes. Discoverability is a setback to a lot of sites. Like you can even see it on TikTok now. When TikTok first started, people were blowing up left and right. Once they realized what they had, they did what all of these things do, is suppress the algorithm and make things a bit more what they want to be popular. I feel like, once it starts becoming about all of the other things, then it gets to be too much. You just want to make content. And that was me. Like, I was just like, I just want to make content. I don't want to feel hemmed in by having to do it this way. And I started looking at it being like, I want to create content. I've talked to my friend Imperfectly Am multiple times about this, being like, well, I legitimately don't have time anymore to film, edit, and upload and do all, like, I just don't. I'm working so much. And I love doing YouTube. I enjoy it. I like doing my Twitch streams. And I had started doing Twitch more because all I had to do was like pop on and be like, da 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 da. And YouTube became more stressful because I had to, film, edit, upload. And I could film a video, but I couldn't edit it. I don't know what time I'm going to get off work. So it does become, he's being so cute back here. He's just asleep. Oop, I looked at him. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. But oh, he does tech videos. Okay, I like him. I'm gonna watch him for tech stuff because I'm always looking stuff. Bo, no, not yet. It's not even close to time, sir. You have 30 minutes and I should finish by then. But if not, I'll take a little breaky break and we'll get you your foods. Don't try to eat early because I'm home. Grandma won't let you. Okay.
Point is, creative jobs don't scale quite like regular jobs. And this is the thing that I see in a lot of other channels and creators and a lot of the videos I'm watching, which is the more you scale up to address these awesome new opportunities and level up, the less of your job is the original thing that we fell in love with, which is being creative. So how do you avoid that? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I don't think anybody has the answers. That's also part of the fun of this job, as it is relatively new and it didn't exist that long ago. So there is no playbook to.
Like I said, my only fix to avoiding it is I just don't ever look at my analytics. I just enjoy what I enjoy. And I look at it from the perspective, like if by some random miracle of the goddess, I wake up and my channel has exploded, I did so because I'm not voraciously going over all of my analytics, and that's very helpful to me. So that's my only advice. Like, if you just want to enjoy yourself, don't let the analytics and the algorithm force you into creating content that you're not wanting to create. You could make something that you like, but that's not what you want to do all the time. You don't want to do that particular video all the time. And I think the idea of us having to have like 1,000 channels, that's going to have to die down at some point, because I feel like I have to make all these other channels because I know people don't care about, like everybody doesn't want to hear my book reviews, right? And everybody doesn't want to hear me talk about movies or TV shows or whatever it is. So I have to make all these little things and different channels. And the problem with that comes, and again, time, but also as a viewer, I hate it when people have a bunch of channels and I'm having to do it because then I have to follow all these damn channels. It's very irritating.
step 1, step 2, step 3. Here's how to become a professional video creator in said genre on YouTube. You can try to find playbooks like that, but they won't always work. There is
Yeah,
no answer
Marlena.
yet. Now,
listen, this is a callback to my Marlena Estelle video, but this is why I said, like, I don't know why y'all would go to Makeup Academy for her to be able to show you how to do well on the platform, because what worked well for one person may not work well for you. That's all. And you can clearly see it all the time on multiple social medias, but you never see it clearer than when you're looking at TikTok, right? One person can do a joke and everybody just flocks to them, follows them. Another person does the same joke and it's like, even if you've never seen both of them, it just is that way. So again, don't do that. Don't do that thing.
I've been very lucky I enjoy a lot of the other parts of the process as well. And I started again with the fun of making videos and learning to use a camera and use a lens and use lighting and microphones and all kinds of fun things like that. But also the rest of the parts of the process are intriguing to me as well. So it's fun. I got lucky in that way. But I guess the only real advice that actually makes sense, and I'm not good at giving advice to these OGs, but I guess it's more like advice to my former self or another version of me, but it's just to be very, very deliberate about keeping the original goal and the creativity part at the core of everything that you're doing. Because it gets really easy to get distracted. And kind of like that fourth grader who filled out the survey who said, I want to be a YouTuber. It's easy to get distracted by the thought of the scale and the money and the fame and the fun that seems like it comes with this with no effort. But if you do fall into the trap of chasing algorithmic changes or chasing the views or the waves of things that happen on YouTube, it is definitely it's like a carrot on a string. It's never ending. Like we've all seen.
100%. Yes, thank you. It is that. It is 100% that. You get like so many people, and we just saw that with the Nick is not green, which is why I thought these two things would go together well. Scissor. If you get trapped into just very constantly and consistently chasing what the algorithm wants, you stop being your authentic self. You stop creating the content that you want to create. It just becomes something that isn't fun anymore. Yes. I love this. It's so much better to ignore the algo and have fun. I'm realizing all my fave creators have that approach. 100%. And then hold on, because I just saw, oh, thanks, Jeff. Thank you. I appreciate it. Or work in progress. I like that. Or it worked 10 worked well 10 years ago, but not today. That's it. Like, Steven, yes. I remember a few years ago, there was a person who was charging hundreds for a YouTube strategy course. I don't remember her name, but I know she swindled a few of my friends. And that's the thing. You get trapped into this idea of like, oh, I'm going to make all this money. If you get into YouTube for money, if you get into content creation for money, I think get ready for disappointment. And I mean that. Like, yes, there's a lot of luck involved in this. So, you could have a boom moment, but you're going to spend a lot of time grinding to get there. And unless like the people who like make it big like that, a lot of those people are like, especially today, already have money. They come from wealthy families. Like they don't have to have another job. So like they can just be doing YouTube. For the majority of folks, like a lot of us have to have a job of some form. We can't just sit here and be creative, and that is a situation. So your reality is that you are grinding at this. You're all day every day trying to make this happen. And I don't know if he's going to get to this, but I did want to throw this out here before I forget, because we're almost to the end of his video and the stream. I think that the other issue is that it feels like everything can become content. When you're going on vacation and contemplating whether or not you need to bring your camera because you might be able to create content, yikes. You know what I mean? We start getting into this like weird cycle of feeling like everything has to be content. When you go have coffee, do you feel like you have to take a picture of like your coffee and do this whole thing and be like, look at me, y'all. It becomes weird, I think, for a lot of us. Thank you, Chris. All right.
Seen the Mr. Beastification of lots of YouTube channels. No offense, Jimmy. I love you, Jimmy. But there are a lot of other channels that look at what Jimmy's doing as a end goal for themselves. And so they figure, okay, if I do what Jimmy's doing, if I follow his blueprint, I will be the Mr. Beast of insert genre here.
Yeah.
And actually, they're right. They will be. But they don't realize all the other things that come with that. It's like a treadmill. It's like a treadmill. That's another analogy for you. And the skill of being a video creator in this world where if you want it to be a job, you have to keep going and keep moving forward and keep making things and sharing things. The skill is finding what speed on the treadmill actually works for you.
Yes.
Is it a slow walk? Is it a light jog? Is it a video every this often? Is it scattered videos? Is it one video every month, every 6 months?
Yes.
That is a real skill and a challenge to find what actually works that satisfies both the external goals of growing your thing and the internal goals of flexing the creative muscle. Sorry, I'm getting...
No, don't be sorry, Marques. You're like killing the game. Okay, so here's the thing. I 100% have said that. Like, if you are someone who wants to do YouTube and you think you have to realistically think of what not only what you can do, but what you are willing to do. Both of the things, right? So if you can do a video once a week, but you're really only willing to do one every 2 weeks, then stick with one every 2 weeks. Don't suddenly change that, because what ends up happening is, again, you're trying to feed the beast. That's what I call the algorithm. You're trying to feed the beast. And in trying to feed the beast and in trying to hit that top end, because here's the thing, every time you get a little bump, it's nice and it feels good. And it makes you feel like he said chasing the carrot. And I have to say that because I almost said chasing the dragon. And that's sorry, but you are like chasing this dream, and that's why it happens, right? You get this bump and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then you get like really excited, sometimes in my case, overstimulated and over anxious, and you're trying to recreate the magic that made that other thing happen. Don't worry about it. Like, take a break instead. Don't make another video. I, gotten myself to the point where I'm like, I will live stream on YouTube once to twice a week. That's what I know I can do. Likely once, because I like to stream on Twitch. I often stream on Twitch after work, but I will only commit to being able to do this like once a week because I know I don't have the time or the energy or the wherewithal. If I exceed that once in a while, like poo-poo for me. But if I don't, it is what it is. I don't want to set myself up for being a creator that, drops multiple videos a week, because I can't do that. And I know that. And like trying to stress myself out, trying to do that doesn't make any sense, because then I'm putting out content for the sake of putting out content instead of putting out content because I'm a creative genius and, like that. I don't want to do that. If a creator makes a video whilst on holidays, as long as they haven't put out there it's a holiday before they go, that trip then becomes tax deductible. Yeah. But I just want to have fun. I just want to have a good time. Like, yikes. This is the guy that I would actually want to listen to on a podcast versus all the other inauthentic mansplainers out there. 100%, because I feel like it seems like he's spent a lot of time thinking about what he does with his YouTube career and where it's going, because especially at his size, seeing so many creators that are that size and larger, all being like, and this again, they're not actually quitting. Most of them are taking like hiatuses or scaling back significantly the amount of content that they put out, because they've done it for so long and it's been their entire lives. Like, if you really look at the iDub situation and where he's gotten, a lot of it's like he's grown up, he's become like, he's gotten married, he is wanting to like live life. like actually live and realize that like being an online internet troll isn't the legacy he wants to leave behind. And that's part of growth and growing up. I mean, it's not part of growth and growing up to use racial slurs, but that's a story for another day. Ruthie, yes, he gets that. I think this is how you do basically any creative endeavor. Find your sweet spot where you are motivated and inspired without the extra stress about the outcome or perceived reception. 100%. 100%. All right. Let's finish this up. I think we're close. We're close. It's only like 5 more minutes.
I think this is getting philosophical, but have you seen the Daft Punk music video from, I guess, after the last album, but for Infinity Repeating, where the AI character's like walking. It walks slowly, a little bit faster. And the whole time it's a fine pace, but the second it tries to start accelerating very quickly towards the end of the video, it just like falls apart and it's too much.
Oh.
That's what burnout looks like. So in my world, if you've watched tech YouTube videos, for example, which I guess if you're here, you have, that looks like you cannot make every tech video. At least I can't. Maybe you can, but I can't review every single phone that comes out. I just recently, we had the Galaxy S24 stuff come out, and the OnePlus 12 is around the corner, and the Find 7 Ultra is also, I can't review all 3 phones at once. I'm only one person. So I got to pick one. I can't dive in and try to satisfy the algorithm every single time. I just can't. So even me today.
And that's what I was saying with regards, just a quick callback, when I was saying, hey, this is a big reason why I don't do beauty content. It's that exact thing. I'm not willing to be able, I'm not willing to, and I don't want to feed the algorithm like this. I am one human being and I have so much money. And it really isn't even about being able to buy everything and buy every palette. It's not whether or not I get it in PR. It's quite literally that I like to be able to play with my makeup and take time with it and do all this stuff, see how I like it, see what it's like when I wear it out. Is it even wearable outside, whatever your definition of wearable is? All of this kind of stuff. I don't want to get this ginormous collection that I already have. But I don't want all of that because it's massively stressful. I don't want to have a pile of makeup. And I realized I'm still buying makeup now as it stands. I'm still buying it. But I'm buying it at a rate that I enjoy and only what I want. And the thing about beauty is you really have to satisfy the algorithm of new. And I just don't want to. And I don't want to be burnt out. So, he has a Wikipedia page. I want a Wikipedia page. No, I don't.
I am trying to pick the right speed on the treadmill that works for everything that I and my team want to do. And it's challenging. And I'm not saying that the people who are retiring or cutting back haven't done that, but I do think we're all sort of realizing you can't run on the treadmill forever. As viewers, I'm watching Tom Scott and Matt Pat. I'm like, yep, I get it. They're getting off the treadmill. But I'll leave you with one more analogy. And that is for those who are still in the camp of, I would like to go all in on this. I would like to get help and scale up and have a team. So the last analogy I'll leave you with, and I've told this on other people's channels, but I don't think I've ever actually said it on this channel, is the octopus analogy. Sorry, my computer over here just went to sleep with my mic cable plugged in. The octopus analogy. Being a creator on YouTube, if that's what we want to talk about, is just like being an octopus. Meaning, you get creative and you start making videos and you have all this fun with the platform. You are doing several different full-time jobs all at once.
Yep.
You are a full-time writer. You are also a full-time cinematographer. You're behind the camera. You're a lot of times in front of the camera. Yep. You're a lot of times a full-time editor. You're also managing the inbox. You're also doing the invoicing, working with brands. There's taxes, the financial accounting, and also just the PR relationships and management and all that content strategy. That's a bunch of different hats. That's like an octopus with 8 arms doing 8 different things all at once. So my only advice is, when getting help, and this makes perfect fundamental sense, but sometimes you have to hear it out loud. You want to get someone who's better at the thing that you're not good at than you, but also You want to find things that you specifically want to cut off. So if you're not good at graphic design and you want the thumbnails to be great, maybe that's a perfect arm to cut off and hand to someone else.
Yes.
And then they can do that task 500 times better than you ever could. I certainly learned that. I recommend that. Just cut off the...
That is why I have a researcher, because I can't do it. Research for me, like I can do the research. I can't put it all together. Like my researcher not only looks into the information, they put it in together, they put it in chronological order, and they make it so that it's like easy for me to follow. I can't do that. Not only because I don't have time, but because I don't work that way. My brain just goes bing bong, bing bong, bing boom, boom, and gathers bits and pieces. And then I can't figure out how to put it together. And I'm like, oh no. So yeah, like you're saying here, it's important to know when to get off the treadmill, best to get off at a high note and not when your views have tanked and your videos have become samey. Yeah. Yeah, i.e. Graveyard Girl. I was never into Graveyard Girl because I didn't know YouTube existed like that, because I was being a Southerner getting married too young. Anyways, everything in moderation and balance. Yeah, and it is, Sarah. And how heartbreaking would it be to get burned out in what you love? And it happens so often. And it's for the very reason that he's saying. When he's sitting here talking about the octopus and all the arms, that's literally it. And it's like you need someone. I would say if you had to figure out who to get first, I would say lawyer for me. I didn't do it yet, but I've looked into it multiple times. Like a tax lawyer or somebody who could, and they could also help you with contracts if necessary, but like, and not Janet, not Jeanette, if you know, not that. So because of the fact that you can keep kind of muddling around or whatever, but you just need somebody to be able to help you to look over these contracts, because I promise you, like a lot of this stuff, there's things that you don't even know are in there. That's why when people say, like, I can't, I have to put these sponsorships out. Like, I know that this company is trash or whatever, but there's nothing I can do. I already signed a contract. Like, I have to put these sponsorships out. I heard y'all, but like, I have to do it because I don't have a choice now. I have signed a contract and there's no outs. And I'm not paying them the money back. So, like, no offense, but I'm not paying them back because that money was spent on other things for the team, equipment, la-di-da, and myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take care of you. All right.
Arms of the taxes, boom. You can hire an accountant. You can work with people who can help you with that. And that's cutting off an arm and handing it to someone who can do much better. But you can't cut off every arm.
Period.
And this is another fact. A lot of octopuses.
It is octopuses, I've discovered.
Anyway, they have 3 hearts. Weird, I know. But they can't cut those out. They have some core functions that always stay with them. And if you are a creator, in some way, there is a part of the game, there is something that you fell in love with at the beginning, it's really worth figuring out what that is and just keeping that.
Yes.
Just keeping that. And it's going to be different for every creator. Maybe for you, it's the cinematography or the editing or the writing or the content strategy, whatever it is. There's going to be parts of it, and there may be several parts that you got to keep. You don't cut that off. And that's my octopus analogy for learning to be a creator. Since there is no playbook, I'm just putting this out there. Learn what those 3 hearts are as early and deliberately as you can. And hopefully you can run on the treadmill with other people who control the other legs. This is a crazy analogy now, but I think
I like it. I like
Long story short, I don't think we've seen the end of big YouTubers who've been doing it for a long time retiring or cutting back or whatever. I just think we're seeing them finding their hearts. I think they're, Matt Pat's still doing behind the scenes stuff on his channel. Tom Scott still doing his podcast. Watch the other videos and you'll see them sort of delineating between the outside and the inside internal motivation. And And that's why I think it's important. So that's my 2 cents, and just wanted to get out there for this video. That's all I wrote down. That's all I want to say. If you ever get to live the dream, be very deliberate about it. It was a weird video. Okay. We'll see if I put this up. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys in the next one.
It was weird and fun. Thank you for that. It was weird and it was fun, and I had a nice time, and I love that. I think a lot of people just don't realize, like, again, everybody wants it to be, I think from the outside looking in, you can very much be like, oh, that's so easy. They're so lucky. And yes, they are. But like, I don't think a lot of people really understand the amount of shit that you end up having to do yourself, and the way in which, like, teams, you have to make sure that you totally trust people in your team, not to like be an asshole and tell all your deepest darkest secrets, all that kind of stuff that you have going on. And the burnout is just intense. The burnout, like, if you I think what we're really also seeing too is like people who have been doing this as a career from the moment that this became a career. They've been doing it that long, and they deserve to be able to enjoy their lives. They're adults now. They have kids, some of them, they're married. The last thing that people really want to do, like I brought up the vacation, it starts to feel like at some point that every single part of your life gets commodified and is content. Are you going to the doctor? Let's film that. Are you, gonna go get some ice cream? Let's film it for a vlog. There's a level to that which I don't think is good for you. I think it's just not good for you just generally. It feels like you're always thinking in terms of, content. If you get into a relationship, are you going to, have your significant other on videos with you, yes or no? The answer is no. Don't do that. People are cruel. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying people are cruel. There are multiple creators who have removed videos, or like not even video, just videos, Instagram photos, of their significant other, because people were so mean that they had to just act like, nope. So I think that, oh, hi, Nancy Drew. Thank you. I think that at the end of the day, we just have to realize that even though this is a dream job, I wouldn't say it's an easy job, but I'm also going to put in there a caveat that I'm not saying it's the hardest job in the world. I really hate that. With like my entire heart, I hate it, because we don't compare jobs. Right? You don't compare being a surgeon to being a mechanic. Both jobs are hard in their own right. They're not necessarily equal in what you do, but in some ways they are. It is what it is. Brain surgeon saves someone's life. A mechanic can make it so that you can get to work and that saves your life. Who knows? But the reality is you don't want to be like comparing jobs, because every job is hard in whatever way that it's hard. I think that consistently believing that content creation is just like this easy thing where you just pop on a camera and, look at me, you edit and do all of that stuff. It's a lot of work. And when it's not your full-time job, when you can't devote, 8 hours to it because of the fact that you have a job that you work that's also 8 hours, it does make it even more difficult. And you're grinding and you're grinding and you're grinding. And if you do make it, sometimes it turns some people into assholes. Sometimes it makes people even more humble. Like my man's was saying over here, like take breaks and figure out what's good for you. And don't chase the algorithm like that. I know it's very, very tempting. I know it gets super tempting, but don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. And finally, I just watched a Jax film video where his wife appeared in an inflatable suit so viewers wouldn't comment on her body. People are dicks. 100%. Like, people have to do so much to keep their personal lives behind closed doors. Bye, Brina. Oof. Sorry, I had to crackle my backle at the end of this thing. Enjoy your shift. The stream is almost over. We made it another 2 hours. I can't believe if that many of you even stayed here for the stream. I appreciate it. Let me know if you are on the replay crew that you made it here. Drop those little funky stars, whatever funky stars you can find as comments. All of these streams are in a podcast format, so you can just like listen to them if you want. I like crackle my backle. But I appreciate all of you for chilling. Remember, you can listen to these that way. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the stream, like the video. And I think that's it. Have a good day. And until next time, as I always love to say to y'all, I am so pretty. And so are you. All right. I'll see y'all next week. Whatever that means. Do you know what I mean? Whatever that means.